Hey there folks, I'm Joshua Orro the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now today, we're going back to the world of British children's novelist Roald Dahl. I previously blogged Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Danny DeVito's Matilda, but today, we're going to go over a story that's very extraordinary, enchanting, and so amazing you won't believe it. And it's about giants. Also, not only has this been put together by my heroes at Disney, but it's also directed by the legendary Steven Spielberg. Released on July 1st, 2016, the movie is The Big Friendly Giant, or the BFG for short. Now let's get started. 10-year-old Sophie is in for the adventure of a lifetime when she meets the big friendly giant. Naturally scared at first, the young girl soon realizes that the 24-foot behemoth is actually quite gentle and charming. As their friendship grows, Sophie's presence attracts the unwanted attention of Blood Bottler, Flesh Lumpier, and other giants. After traveling to London, Sophie and the BFG must convince Queen Victoria to help them get rid of all the bad giants once and for all. So, what are my thoughts on this version? Well, to be honest, I thought this film was whiz-bang and really enchanting. In other words, I loved it. But before we move on, let's go on to Mustang notes. Producers Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy began development on a live-action adaptation of the BFG in 1991 and set the project up at Paramount Pictures. Husband and wife screenwriters Robin Swickard and Nicholas Kazan wrote a screenplay adaptation in 1998 with Robin Williams in mind for the title role. By 2001, the script had been rewritten by Gwen Lurie and was greeted with positive feedback from the Dahl estate. In September 2011, DreamWorks announced that they had picked up the film rights to the book. Kennedy and Marshall were slated to produce, with screenwriters Melissa Matheson adapting the story. Initially, John Madden was in negotiations to direct. However, in April 2014, Steven Spielberg was announced as the director, with Madden now listed as executive producer, with producer Michael Siegel, as well as, Kennedy had initially thought of Steven Spielberg as director, but hesitated asking him until a more concrete screenplay was presentable. Walden Media agreed to co-produce and co-finance the film with DreamWorks and Amblin in March 2015. A month later, Walt Disney Studios, which was under prior agreement to distribute the film through its Touchstone Pictures banner, also joined the production as a co-producer and co-financer, and shifted the film from a Touchstone release to a Walt Disney Pictures production instead. Consequently, the BFG is the first Disney-branded film directed by Steven Spielberg, though he had previously produced several films for the studio. Additionally, DreamWorks did not receive a marquee credit placement for the studio's production logo on marketing materials, nor in the film's opening titles, and instead is represented by Amblin, although DreamWorks still serves as a, copyright holder for the film. This film happens to be the second adaptation of the novel following the 1989 direct-to-television animated film. Speaking of which, a while ago I heard that while Roald Dahl detested lots of films based on his stories, when he saw that version of the cinema, he stood up and clapped, meaning that he loved it. And I think if Dahl were still alive today, he would have loved this one too. This is also the second time Disney would adapt a Roald Dahl story. The first time was Henry Selick's James and the Giant Peach from 1996, but I'll get into that when the time comes. Anyway, Principal photography on the film began on March 23rd, 2015 in Vancouver and concluded on June 12, 2015. Weta Digital worked on the film's visual effects. Now, I love everything about this movie. For example, the London scenes at night are very mysterious, and the Giant's country looks like a wide open plain. Not to mention the fact that the Dream Country almost reminds me of some scenes from James Cameron's Avatar, as well as the, romance scene from Final Fantasy X. Also, in my opinion, the funniest part in the movie is when several of the characters do a whiz popper, which is in reality a fart. But the things that make me cringe in this film are the snozcumbers, which look absolutely gross. Ugh. Anyway, let's move on to the characters and their actors. Our title character, the BFG, is played by Mark Rylance. He's a 24-foot tall, elderly runt giant. Now, I like this character, not only because he's very nice, but he's very protective, and he's also clever when it comes to hiding himself from human beings, but he also has a speech impediment, and sometimes he's a bit of a coward. But, on the positive side, his cave is very breathtaking. His job is to collect dreams from Dream Country and use his horn to blow them into the children's minds. Next we have Sophie, played by Ruby Barnhill. And by looking at her, I think she's about the same age as my goddaughter / cousin Elizabeth. Anyway, Sophie is an orphan who befriends the BFG. Now, in my opinion, out of all the characters in this film, Sophie is my absolute favorite. She's smart, brave, and I just love that English accent of hers. It's so adorable. And now, ladies and gentlemen, meet the flesh Lumpier giant, played by Jermaine Clement. Whom I remember as Nigel the Cockatoo from the Rio films. He's a 50-foot giant who is the leader of the man-eating giants in Giant Country. Now, in my opinion, he's nastier than Tulip from the 1974 Jack and the Beanstalk anime film that I blogged a few months ago. Why? Because not only do he and the other giants eat children, but they like to pick on the BFG and push him around. The last character I need to talk about is Queen Victoria, played by Penelope Wilton. Nearing the end of the story, Sophie and the BFG go to her for help to stop the giants from eating the children. The thing I like about her is her hospitality, and she makes a sweet mother figure to Sophie. And now, on to my final words. Overall, the BFG is an enchanting movie, and one of Steven Spielberg's most underrated films yet. The settings are breathtaking, and the characters from Sophie to the BFG are lovable. It's a tad strange and frightening at times, but I think kids and adults, even fans of the original book, will absolutely love it, and I say it's a must-watch during the summertime. As for my final rating, I give this movie a full 100%. Mr. Spielberg, Roald Dahl will be proud of you. Well, that's it for today, folks. Be sure to join me again next time. Mustang Power! Take it nice and slow. You'll never stop it, that fabulous.